Previously on Empire of Solitude.
We should probably drink less.
This world is too shitty not to have vices.
You'd rather tie yourself to your sorrows. Prisionera de tus quejas.
I would rather matter to my island, to my people.
Then why are you here?
I need to call my sister.
I need to call my sister.
What I remember were loves that started like bonfires and ended in ash.
If I am to be left with my memories, I'd erase every man and replace him with a woman, so I can move past their facades to reveal the truth that only a woman can see.
Tell that to my heart. If you know how much pain I feel, you wouldn't call it ridiculous. You have more in common with a wild animal than a woman who deserves my respect. Do you believe in changing the whole social order? So women are just punching bags for men? Were you barely ever around? And what happened to starting a new world? Lavar la raza. It was like their call to arms. They won't be happy until the entire continent of Africa has washed from our backs into the sea. I need to call my sister.
I need to call my sister.
I need to call my sister.
Love, on the bridge in Viejo San Juan, you met my parents, and under the moonlight, you told me you loved me. What did you mean? Did you love the ideas of my mind, or only when I agreed with you, defended you to friends, or had any thoughts of my own? Love, did you love me on my bad days, when I could barely get out of bed and the sun seemed dark? I sat in the corner of our room at midnight, looking up at the same moon, the same light that reflected off your face, when you said I love you. But who did you love? Did you love me when I made you breakfast? As much as when I was published? As much as when I was with my peers and I wasn't baby, sweetie, mi amor, mi cariño corazón? I was Julia. My name on those essays, on those poems. My name receiving praise. Did you love me then, or only when we lied in bed, kissing my body, or did you love me when we debate the finer points of Marx and Albizu? Did you mean it when you laughed when I called myself a revolutionary? Did you love me when you smirked at my dreams? Did you love me in Havana, where we were free from our past, walking along a Malecon? Yes, yes, yes. This was love. When I recited poetry to you, the ocean spraying against my back, you told me my words were like the waves and your favorite thing was the sea. If I were the waves, were you my moon? That's the wrong question. The question should be, will you love me in turbulence and chaos as much as in calm seas? Love. I saw it in your eyes. I know I wasn't deceived. Havana, Viejo San Juan, my parents, the bridge, Mel Melicon. In your eyes, you loved me.
Empire of Solitude, Episode 2.
What a waste of my youth. Most women have to wait until middle age to be replaced by a horse. I'm not even 24. Look at me. Look at me. Keep it together. He doesn't deserve your tears any more than he deserves this dinner I made. That he said was his fucking favorite. Pero no soy Angélica o Isabela o fucking Consuela. Esa puta con piernas largas y elegante y esa sonrisa tan bella. I hope she gives you syphilis, cabrón. Will she cook like this for you? All day? And wait 4 goddamn hours como pendeja? Soy mejor que esto. I'm better than you and her and all of them. And you turn me into this? Maricón come mierda, motherfucker.
Julia, what are you doing?
Ruben, I wanted to surprise you with your favorite meal. Surprise.
Oh, baby.
You would never treat a baby this way.
Baby, I know I'm late, but let me explain.
I've been crying for 4 hours. And some nights, you don't even come home at all. And if I were really a baby, I would have died by now from your neglect.
Julia, you're being ridiculous. Are you just gonna leave this mess here?
Tell that to my heart. If you knew how much pain I feel, you wouldn't call it ridiculous. If you were a real man, a man of principle and courage, a true Boricua, you would be on your knees begging for my forgiveness. I need to call my sister.
I need to call my sister.
I'm your husband. You need to respect me.
I respect men. You are a boy. Con cara de mocos, crying for your mommy. And when she doesn't come, you find some whore to make you feel like you're a man. But no matter how much they stroke your ego and sing your praises, you're still just a fucking boy.
Look at you. You have more in common with a wild animal than a woman who deserves my respect. You call my friends and colleagues whores, and yet you lecture me about respecting women. Don't act so high and mighty just because you're educated. Where is all your education in this? Where is your control, your dignity, like a real woman has?
Just like a boy, telling me how a woman should act. ¿Y tú? ¿Dónde fuiste? Who were you with? There's no need to lie. Who is she?
Somebody I could love.
Mar mío, mar profundo que comienzas en mí, mar subterráneo y de mi suelo de espadas apretadas. Mar mío, mar sin nombre, desfiladero turbio de mi canción desperezada, roto y desconcertado, silencio transmarino, azul desesperado, mar lecho, mar sepulcro, the voice that hides my death with poems. Far from my home, you reach out to me, to remind me my Borican hasn't forgotten her daughter who yearns for her shores. My island never understood me, the way I wish to be seen. But you, Armar, kingdom of waves that on the surface is turmoil and pain, masking the tranquility below that only the most loyal are allowed to witness. You are forever my home when the nations on land offer me no refuge.
To be a Caribeño is to be tied to the sea the way a child is to its mother.
Es nuestra herencia. It carries us all to the nations of the world, linking all the races, cultures, languages. The sea keeps us bound to one another in pain and in glory. Land keeps us apart. It's mountains and deserts and barren plains. In land, there is division, invasion, domination. In the sea, humanity wanders, and its only border is one's own hand that either pushes you back or pulls you close.
You must be an artist.
Why do you say that?
You speak in melody, with intimacy, to an absolute stranger.
Nature gets the best of me.
Then there is nothing special about me? You would have spoken in the same verse to anyone.
Your eyes told me I would be safe, and your smile confirmed my suspicion.
What is your name?
My name is whatever song soothes your heart.
But yours is a new song. Tell me, what melody should I sing to the moon and the stars?
Julia.
Oh, notes that caress my soul.
And when the moonlight wakes me from my dreams and I reach out for you, what name should I call into the night?
Armando. Where are you from?
Puerto Rico. I come from the coral reefs full of life,
and color that dance in the crystal waters of the Caribbean and bathes in the light of a distant sun, that turns my skin into caramel and my love into the sweetest fruit.
What do you dream for?
Liberation. I dream to be a woman in all her glory. Free, never submissive. What do you dream for?
A woman freer than any man.
A woman to teach you to be a man.
I will be a man who teaches you the way a woman should be loved.
Querido mío, I have amazing news.
Is that what the wine is for?
Yes, tonight is a celebration. Look at this.
This is your book.
Yeah, it just came from the press.
You did this.
Yes. Why are you so shocked? I told you that I wanted to bring my poetry to more people. Juan said that I could sell these at events and double my money.
Do you really think people would like your poems enough to buy a book of them?
Why wouldn't they? But more importantly, why do you, my husband, think so little of my work?
Have I not supported you going into the city and reading and doing your lectures? Most husbands would frown upon their wives running in those circles, so don't question my support.
But do you like my work? Do you even see value in it?
I see value in you. Isn't that enough? You don't like all my hobbies?
This isn't baseball. It's my expression. It's my passion.
Not everyone likes poetry. What you write is beautiful. But if I'm going to read, I prefer the news, things that are real, that are happening.
Well, so do I. But human expression also represents the world and how it affects people. Poetry is the news of daily life just as much as the war in Spain and Hitler's aggression. You're right. Not everybody likes poetry, but it would mean a lot to me if you at least like mine.
I just wish you would have told me that you were making a book for yourself.
It's not for me.
Don't sulk. I'm just being honest. Would you rather I lie and be disingenuous? Congratulations. This means a lot to you. Clearly, I'm happy for you. I truly am.
I'm going to do a reading at the university.
When? With Juan?
Next month. The 10th, I think.
I'll come. I promise. I'll clear my schedule. Maybe beforehand we can have a special dinner. Maybe the arroz con pollo I love. And I can pick up some pastries in the morning. Get you some quesitos.
You really mean it? You'll do that?
Yeah. We'll have a nice dinner and then we'll go to your reading.
Will you buy a copy?
That would be kind of silly. We already have your book.
It's the gesture that matters.
Okay. I'll do that. You feel better?
Un poquito. Hello? Yes, he's here. May I ask who's calling? Do you know a Consuela?
Ah, yes. She's our new secretary. Hello? How are you? I'm doing fine. Thank you. Oh, did I? Baby, I left my wallet on the desk. Thank you for finding it. I've been so absent-minded today. Yeah, I suppose I should get it tonight. I'll come by shortly.
You could always get it tomorrow.
I couldn't sleep peacefully knowing if I didn't have my wallet.
You were doing fine a minute ago.
I didn't know then, obviously. I don't think it'll take me long. I'll be right back.
As a people, we have diminished ourselves to be merely a footnote in history. If we are mentioned, it is as losers of wars, of finance, victims of oppressive outside forces that seek to erase what little history we have left. This view is attractive because it requires no self-reflection. It creates a binary of good and evil, colonizer and colonized. Aside from turning our complex selves into simple definitions, this also keeps Latin American people segregated, and in doing so, prevents us from finding community in our shared humanity. Latin America is as much America as the United States and Canada. We all share the same history of the last 500 years, and we are all remnants of the people who were here before the conquest. We are all slavers and slaves. We should not mythologize one people over another in the name of creating superiority in our particular groups. We are unimaginably different and undeniably the same. The white American is unable to recognize that they have more in common with a Negro in Jamaica than they do with the farmer in France. That farmer in France is on their ancestral land and has been a Frank as long as France has existed. There is no duality to that farmer, but even a white American has some mixing, if not through blood, then through culture. The American character, regardless of country, is a hybridization of humanity that has not been seen since the ancient conquest between the Arab empires and Europe, or the Mongol invasions that engulfed Asia so many centuries ago. In the Americas, we are a new culture, one that combines the African, the indigenous, and the European in a dance of human evolution. To pretend that we are like any one of these strands while denying the others is to be in delusion so profound it can be called madness. We are transhumans, a race unlike any other of a single nation known as America. If we could embrace the spectacular newness of the Western Hemisphere without prejudice, without imaginary division, we would see that Latin America and Anglo-America are one and the same, and the power we could yield economically, culturally, and politically is beyond anything that the old world can compete with. We can imagine new families, one where men can be parents and women can be workers. We can redefine leadership by allowing our women to lead and make their voices heard, their dreams realized, and for men to support those dreams and demonstrate an enlightenment masculinity unlike anything seen in the old world. The United States, in its pursuits of old world notions of nationality, race, gender, and power, is doomed to repeat the mistake of every empire since the Sumerians. Divide and conquer is not only an external concept, but also an internal one. I am every culture that has crossed into this hemisphere, and so is every one of you. And so our freedom comes from imagining new concepts of nationhood, personhood, of love, and of every nature of human existence. If we could only overcome petty infighting of the labels that shackle us, men versus women, white versus black, Cuban versus Puerto Rican versus Brazilian versus Mexican versus the United States, and so on until we are sick to our hearts by the diseased labels of an outdated humanity. In this generation, we must forge a new human path where we can replace mythology and ego with honesty and humility. Let us break the shackles of belief that the way things are the only way they can ever be. I am not talking about utopia. Nothing is perfect. I am talking about pushing ourselves into what we can truly be: a new world, an America united, like Bolivar envisioned. We cannot do this with hate in our hearts, no matter how much the United States inspires it in us. We will need them too, unfortunately. I say this genuinely. We cannot evolve human civilization if we hate one another. We can only do it through equality and respect. I believe tonight in La Habana, we can begin that journey. The Caribbean is where the conquest started so many centuries ago. Let it also be where we truly liberate ourselves to be a new human race. Thank you.
That was beautiful, my love.
I couldn't do it without you. You are my muse. And when I think of the world we are making, it is because I am thinking of the world I want for you and our future family.
Being just a housewife and mother sounds a lot like the old world. What about letting women lead and have their voices heard?
Well, that can still be done as we raise the next generation.
We? Or only me?
There is no argument here. I am talking about our future, our family.
What kind of family? Can I only do my work as long as I find someone to take care of my kids? Will you take the time to raise them too?
Well, I also need to be able to do my work, my travels. Of course, I would be a good father. And when the time is right, you'll also have the ability to do those things too. But my work needs to come first. We need the money. I hope you'll understand.
I just don't see why it has to be either or. We can work together, find balance.
My love, we'll talk about it. And yes, we can find a common balance. I mean, everything has sacrifice, especially when you are changing the world. It won't be easy, but we'll find a way to do it together.
A team.
Always.
I moved in a couple years ago. There isn't much. I don't have art, only a few family photos. I suppose I only live here to sleep and eat. It could use a woman's touch.
I've seen much worse.
You're kind.
I was expecting your mother to still be here.
Why do you say that?
You seem like the type. You know, to take care of their mother, I mean.
She died when I was at the university. But yes, otherwise I would have.
Do you have any siblings?
2, both younger.
Oh, are they married?
One of them, my younger brother.
Is your father alive?
Yes, he lives in Aguadilla.
Do you think he would like me?
He's very traditional. He probably asked what church you were confirmed in and what your father does for a living.
Well, those are easy questions to answer.
You should probably not mention politics.
I don't with my own father. Why would I with yours?
I think you're fascinating.
Because I have a mind.
It's not every day you meet a female poet.
There's more than you think. We just keep it to ourselves. We have meetings even. In the middle of the woods.
You're making fun of me.
No, I'm just being myself.
I like you.
I like you too. But I won't lie to you. I can't be anyone other than myself. I'll take care of the home and cook you meals, but if you want some mindless housewife, that isn't me.
I like that you have hobbies. I like that you write poetry. It's quite endearing.
You want me to write you a poem?
I want you to let me take care of you.
I never saw myself as a settled woman. I know what's expected of me, and I can do those things well enough. It doesn't take a genius to organize a cabinet. I can find any blemish on any plate and erase it like a misplaced word or useless phrase. The way I'd construct your favorite dinner will be with the precision and harmony of a rhymed couplet. When you need pleasure, I would know how to give it. I would learn to recite your pleasure points and deepest desires as though they were the works of Cervantes and Lope de Vega. Sacred texts that I would recite with kisses and caresses just as you like them. In the morning, I would prepare your café y pan with the morning paper reorganized in the order you prefer to read it.
The finance section, the world news, local news.
So it would be. Every morning of our lives. I can make this all happen at the expense of myself. But it would mean a home, stability, comfort. It would certainly please my family, and there would be a kind of peace that my mother always wanted for me. You're fair-skinned, too. She would love that. Her parents had been slaves. We never really talked about it. My abuela and her would always praise me for inheriting my father's European features. But then they'd comment on my skin when I'd stay in the sun for too long, like it dirtied me. And they'd tell me how one day I should find myself a man with strong Spanish roots from the north, Galicia or Asturias. Lavar la raza. It was like their call to arms. I not only needed to have children, I had to make sure they were lighter than me and that the same would happen for the next generation and the next. They won't be happy until the entire continent of Africa has washed from our backs and into the sea.
I don't think you're dirty. We're all mixed here.
That's what the Americans hate about us. We're not pure like them. While I understand my mother's desire was because she wanted me to have a better life, I don't think erasing who you are is the way to do that. I'm not ashamed of my roots. The African and European and Taína, it's all in me. And I want my children to love their many shades. It would give me so much joy if my mother could love them in the same way. But I know that if they're a darker shade of caramel than me, I couldn't stand the disappointment in her eyes. It'd be worse than when I went to school to be a teacher. What do you need education for when you could just find a good husband? Ugh. As much as I disagree with her, I dream of her giving me approval. It would be nice if for once in my life that love could be easy.
Would she not be proud of you finding a man with a career, a home, the good character?
You're cute. I just never thought that I'd ever really want to be a wife.
You can write as much as you want. You can do your readings. You can tell me off in that way that I can't tell if I should be charmed or offended. Just take care of me in return. Would you want that with me?
I do.
Mi amor, espero por ti por 20 días. Y no quiero saber lo que pasará si cumplo 30 sin verte. Love cannot endure absence. It needs the renewal of caresses and the heat of your mouth against my ear, pronouncing your love with the wetness of your lips. Sentir el pelo de tu pecho con mis dedos largos y erguidos que buscan entre tus pelos como una serpiente en el prado. And when I reach your neck with my longing fingers, your hand embraces my wrist and carries it to your face. So my hand can memorize the outlines of your lips, nose, eyes, brow, the silhouette of my love imprinted on the lines of my palm. Yo necesito que me toques. Love cannot live in the ghostly echoes of a phone or the elegant script of your letters. Amor es táctil. Love needs to dream while my head rests on the undulating rise and fall of your breath. You're back?
Yes, but just for tonight. The conference was canceled and I need to go to Mexico City tomorrow, but I wanted to come home for at least a few hours.
I wish you would have called.
I wanted to surprise you.
How long will you be in Mexico City?
A week. Then I'll be home and we can go to Santiago and have some time together.
I would love that. But after Santiago, are you going to be staying for a while? Or are you leaving again?
I don't know. It depends on how things go in Mexico City. A lot is happening. The world is changing. And now that the war is over, there are a lot of leftism movements popping up all over. These can be peaceful revolutions, and I want to be on the front lines.
I want that for you too. I just also want to begin traveling with my own work. I was hoping you would join me and I could release another book and maybe write for some more papers.
That's wonderful. But aren't we talking about having kids? Where does that fit in?
You're not going to be gone all the time, are you? And how can we have kids if you're never around?
I thought you supported my work.
I thought you supported mine. You know I'm a writer. I have goals too. There was a lot going on in Puerto Rico, and I want to go to New York and meet with the groups there. Albizu is bringing people together and we can fight back.
And what will it mean for my work if you run off and get arrested? That can affect me.
What happened to starting a new world?
We can. But Julia, I have an entire career mapped out, and I want a family. I love that you write and that you advocate for your people, but there are bigger things in the world.
Puerto Rico needs to be free. It needs to be free so I can go back home. It needs to be free from the church and the petty Yankees and conservative men who only want us to pop out babies and cook their meals. You said you believed in changing the whole social order, so women aren't just punching bags for men. But you're barely ever around, and I'm telling you there are things I need, and all you do is talk about yourself. I'm a revolutionary too.
What Albizu wants is to do the old way.
What do you mean?
He wants war. He wants to fight the most powerful empire on earth. You can't change anything that way.
What about sacrifice?
We can change things politically while keeping our moral ground.
What is moral about colonization? The United States will never liberate Puerto Rico peacefully.
You expect me to support this?
I expect you to support liberation. You talk about change like it comes so easily, and you don't. You don't really believe in sacrifice, do you?
Are you serious? I came home after 20 days straight of working and negotiating and having sleepless nights, and I came home to my supposedly loving wife, who I respect. I respect your perspective and your passion. But why can't I come home and just be treated
Like a hero?
No. Like I'm loved and missed.
You are. But your wife is more than just someone who loves and misses you. I have a life and I have been sacrificing it for you. But what have you been sacrificing?
You're so ungrateful.
You're a hypocrite. You talk about changing the world, and yet you treat me the same way every man in my life has ever treated me. Just because you don't talk about Jesus and the Pope doesn't make you better. You just traded them in for a real God of men. Yourselves.
I spend every day putting other people first. Is it so much to ask that my wife does that for me? Does that really make me selfish, or does that just make me human?
The person you should put first is your wife.
You're so selfish. There are bigger things in the world than the whims and fancies of Julia de Burgos.
I know. I lived my entire life, every day of my life, being reminded of that fact. Where are you going?
I'll be back in a week, which is also our anniversary. I didn't forget. I think about you too. I do hear you, Julia. You don't make it easy to love you, but I do. Maybe we just need some time to think about what's really important.
Excuse me. I just saw you inside. You did a poem about Rio Luisa.
Yes. Did you like it?
I loved it. My abuela lived in Luisa. A poem reminded me of my childhood.
Oh, thank you.
I was wondering if, and pardon me for being so bold, but I was wondering if I could take you to dinner sometime.
Ahora mismo.
Not right now. It's late, but another night.
Look, I'm not... you seem very nice and polite, but I'm in school and should focus on my studies.
What are you in school for?
Teaching?
My tia is a teacher. This is a very honorable profession.
And what do you do?
I'm an accountant. I have my own office.
I'm surprised you like poetry.
Oh, a friend dragged me here. I don't usually come to events like these.
You're too good for poetry?
I can appreciate it. Usually, poetry feels quite frivolous, but your poem about Luisa felt different. It was more personal.
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure if I'm up for dinner, though, to be honest.
Why is that?
Relationships are chaotic. I've had enough of that.
I'm a pretty simple guy. I have one of the most boring jobs on the planet. I don't see many movies. I like a nightcap on occasion. I dance every once in a while. But for the most part, I'd really just like someone to talk to. Could we do that?
Simple sounds wonderful right now.
Esta noche, sola y triste, me paseo por el valle de recuerdo de un amor inmenso y puro en mi alma siempre está. And your image, sweet and pure, imprisons me tenderly, welcoming me in its nets of illusion and reality. I imagine that you are near, that you look at me with your eyes of still sea, waking me to the life of the celestial illusion. You don't deserve these tears. You don't deserve my pain. Yo te quiero, amado mío, y es intenso mi sufrir. Yo que te amo tanto, tengo que esconder mis emociones tras un frío saludo o una sonrisa cordial. Sometimes I dream that you are mine, all mine, and that you run delirious at the tender and soft irrigation of my spring love. Mucha mierda. You didn't even have the courage to say it to my face. Men I barely even loved at least could do that. El enorme dolor de amar. I never thought absence could be so present until I loved the shadow.
Empire of Solitude is a flamboyant theater production presented by Boricuas Unidos en la Diaspora and inspired by the poetry of Julia de Burgos. Empire of Solitude was directed by Nade Cortez, written by John Marcantoni, with sound design by Veronica Straitlingo, and stars Nade Cortez as Julia, Lauren Michelle Long as Poetess, Laura Madrid as Feminine, Giselle Gonzalez as Revolutionary, and Denise Zubizarreta as Wife. Flamboyant Theater is a performing arts theater in Denver, Colorado that focuses on uniting Puerto Ricans who share the love of music, poetry, theater, and most importantly, the place we call home, Puerto Rico. Please share and leave a review for this show, and we encourage you to learn more about the life and work of Julia de Burgos.